It's possible your priorities are out of whack and it's a time for an adjustment. This is another Canadian Wealth Secrets podcast, shorty Friday Secret Sauce episode, and I've got something for you to noodle on a little bit. And it kind of comes from an experience that I've had in the last month, but also something that I've kind of heard about or seen, and I want to try it out. Like, I went to I found a family trip recently, just last month, to Italy. We went for a wedding. We went there for a week, and I'll be honest, I've never been to Europe in say the Italy, like any other outside of outside of England or the United Kingdom, and I'll be honest, it felt different to be in Italy than it does to be here in North America. And if you've been there before, you probably are like nodding your heads right now going, it totally does. And I don't mean it's like, we've got lots of tourists. I mean, we spent most of our time in the Tuscany, kind of outside of the city's region, and it just has a different relaxed feeling. And it wasn't just because we were on vacation. We were talking to people who live there. We were talking with people who were also traveling from other parts of Europe, and I'd heard that people treat work specifically different there, and I wanted to test that out. Like, I wanted to hear about it from themselves. So like, I asked some of the people that were on a tour with us who were from Italy but were, say, visiting this particular area, and I asked them, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? And I'd heard that people will ask people what they do, and Europeans will respond back saying something other than their work. Whereas when we say, what do you do in North America, we're typically, you'll say, I'm a teacher, I'm an investor, I work here, I have this job, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I work for this company over here, I'm a consultant. But I heard that if you ask, say, a European or Italian that, they don't typically will naturally respond with that, and it was true. I asked this couple that we were on a tour with, and I said, like, what do you do? And he was like, well, I like to cook, and I like to kind of go on, I like to cycle, and I like to kind of hang out and read and go on vacations. And I was like it's just a different mindset, and the reality is that for him, he was working to live. Like, that was the priority for him and his family. Whereas I think most of us here in North America do the reverse. We live to work. We put work as the top priority. We put that as forefront. And that's one of those, like, priorities that just feels out of whack. Now, some of you are saying, like, I love to work, and I love to work as well. But I think we sometimes think of the goal. What is the goal that we're looking for? Like, am I working? Like, is the goal to, like, make my work the priority, or is the goal to make family experiences the priority? And I think that's the out of whackness that we have right now. And I think it's true for many different kind of arenas in terms of work-life balance, but it's also kind of true when we talk to business owners and we talk to entrepreneurs, and specifically about what they're trying to go through, what they're trying to, like, make as their goal. Right now, it's like their priorities are a little bit out of whack in the terms of what their goals are. It's almost like the business owners, the entrepreneurs, the high income earners that we talk to every single day, when we ask them to fill us in on, like, what are you doing? They are prioritizing the container. They're prioritizing the container as the thing that they're doing. I'll say, like, what are you doing? And they'll say, like, I'm in real estate, or I'm in index funds, or I'm in Bitcoin, or I'm in blank. Like, and that blank is the container. They're prioritizing that container as the most important thing instead of prioritizing the goal and the outcome as the most important thing. And when you prioritize the outcome as the most important thing, things get clear. Your strategies get clearer. The tools, the strategies, they fall into place when you set those targets and those goals. The decision of should I invest here or here or here or is a much simpler decision, because you realize because of that goal you've set, it probably doesn't matter which strategy to take, as long as you know what the goal is and that strategy is a pathway to that goal. It kind of relieves that pressure of being like, am I doing the right thing? Because if we're asking that question, it's likely we don't know what the outcome that we're after is. And that's one of the priorities that is out of whack right now, is that you're going, hey, I'm focusing on real estate. But the question is, why? Why? What is it? What is that avenue? What is that channel? What is that class going to help you get towards? And have we set those goals? Do we have those targets? Because it's likely you're making plans with your money before you know what the end goal and the end number is. Like your job right now is decide on what 10 years looks like, what 15 years looks like, what 20 years looks like for you. Write it down. Reverse engineer that pathway to get there, and then take a look at the containers. What does that number look like? Your end goal will act like, once you have that goal, it's going to act as a filter. Then that filter helps you determine the containers, the timelines, that pathway to get there. It becomes so much clearer when you have that goal and not the other way around. And that's where we're kind of out of whack right now. And if you're out of whack right now, take a moment, take a pause, and figure out what those goals look like for you down the road, and get clear on what those containers could be later. But make sure you're clear first on what the goal is. And once you get clear, so take that option, once you get clear and you're still not sure what the containers are, then that's what Kyle and I do every single day where we're talking with business owners, entrepreneurs, people who have high net incomes and high net worths. They're trying to figure out what to do with, say, the containers and their goals at the same time. We help decide on what those pathways are. You can reach out and book a discovery call with us at CanadianWealthSecrets.com/discovery. And we're going to help you ensure that you get at least one big takeaway from that call to implement in your Canadian wealth building journey. But get clear first. Enjoy your Friday.